All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. I know we've been absent for quite some time now, but we have been busy. So what we're going to do today is I'm actually going to kind of walk you through the house progress, the progress on the barn, and then kind of do like a garage, shop, vehicle update type deal. Not only so that way you guys are caught up with where we're at, but also I can mentally catch myself up too, because I'll be saying it out loud. And I don't know if you've ever had a process in your head, but when you start saying it out loud, that's when you realize, hey, this is a really good idea, or wow, that's really dumb, don't do that. So right off of the hop, last year, I don't know if you guys can see it, but we had our roof done by Sharp Construction. It is like a forest green. We did manage to get the door done. That's all squared away, literally squared, because the old door, somebody had redone it before. No, it wasn't me. I would tell you if it was me. And they put it in crooked and twisted. It was rather fascinating. But we do have the old shutters down. Right over there, those are going to the junk pile. And we do have new shutters. So we're excited to get those on. We're going to change the light fixture as well. And it should really help this house out a lot. And along with the building, we have the gutters done. They're green. They're going to match the house. They also match the roof. Actually, I'll take you around to the other side. What's up, big fella? So anyway, there you go. Now you can see the roof, the gutters as well. Turned out pretty good. We got the first first thatch and cut of the lawn done. So you can see we have our gutters. Next thing on the list, we're going to be doing the door out back, and we're going to be doing the service door on the barn as well. And then we had all the bush here. We used to have a bunch of lilac bushes around here. We had one up front, we had one right there, we had a little one there, and then this section here was a gigantic bush. And then my neighbor had pine trees all along here that had died. We had two of them fall. Thankfully, nothing hit the trucks. If I have a picture, I'll put it up here. So we're tearing this stuff up. We're going to be doing grass. For those of you that have been around for a while, this is where the Duramax swap chassis, the LB7 that we're using, that's where that caught on fire. Still, after all these years, I'm still fighting to get grass to grow. So should be able to get a nice rich lawn out of it. And that pretty much kind of catches you up on everything that we're doing with the house. Other than we went to turn the water on, we got a line that comes out underneath the porch there that burst. I finally got everything for it, so we're going to go ahead and fix that. So we'll have running water in the barn and running water outside again. But that pretty much wraps it up for the house and for the barn and all that, the progress there. Let's go ahead and dive into the trucks and what's going to be happening with them. And let's start with our girl Leah first. So our girl Leah, but you know what that is? That shit fell off of my LBZ. I don't know what the fuck it is, but it fell off. Anyway, our girl Leah. So the plan with this one is going to be, I actually saw a post on Instagram a week or so back, and it was about the 1 hour challenge. I'll go ahead and I'll put that up here. And you know, it kind of hit me because an hour of progress, even 45 minutes of progress, is better than nothing, and it adds up. You know, life has this interesting way of nickel and diming us, so why can't we do it in return? The tentative plan with this thing is going to be, we're going to have to get the plow off of it here shortly, which ain't a big deal. That passenger fender is coming off. We're replacing that. We actually have it back there on top of the bed. It is the same color, thankfully, along with our bed. It matches her color. So this hood and this fender have actually blended in quite well, but they're black. They're not body color. So we're going to get the fender switched out. We're going to get the bed switched out. We're going to put the black Raceline wheels back on it, and we also have a set of 275 75R16 Duratrax that we're going to be putting on. So she'll have some good tires for wintertime for plowing, and let's face it, I mean, this truck looks 10 times better with those race lines on it rather than the stock Pios. The other thing that we're going to do, like Lana, our LMM, we've got the fender flare lights in here. We're going to go ahead and we're going to get those things wired up and ready to go. I do want to add a couple more strobes to it, and I think I'm going to add some more forward-facing light. Those two spotlights are killer, but I think I want to get two smaller ones and put them in the mirror just to kind of get down in the ditch when you're driving. Our girl Lola, she's still out here. She's killing the game. I still need to get that Y-bridge for it. That way I can get rid of that two-piece monstrosity that I got going on. I need to get this thing cleaned up and detailed because it looks like absolute shit. And then I need to get the 3M eraser wheel and seriously do something about that striping and all that right there. Get that cleaned up. I do have a contender for a bed, and I do need to get the rockers and cab corners for it so that way I can clean it up. But other than that, I mean, she's killing it. She's 451,000 miles and some change now. I'll check the odometer and I'll put it up on the screen, but she's doing absolutely wonderful. Zero complaints here. And I mean, really, there's not a whole lot that I need to do with the truck. Except I do need to get the fog lights readjusted because I put them on backwards from one another, so that one is pointing to the moon. But other than that, really, I think, you know, just a good cleanup on the outside and clean up the inside because, you know, she sits in the wintertime. She's been sitting in the barn, so she's, you know, she's dusty. But other than that, you know, oh, and I'd like to get some actual stack covers for it, but that's and get that eraser wheel, take that off, and those stripes there. And then I need to get some more blue LEDs. I got purple in it right now, but the blue looks killer. So our girl Lana, as you can see right down there, got to do the transmission lines on this thing and the passenger side up pipe. Other than that, she is absolutely killer, like we got to do with our girl Lola. I'm going to get this thing inside. I'm going to peel the fender flares off. No, I'm not removing them for good. They're going back on. We're going to remove the inner fenders as well because I have to trim those the rest of the way because we got little tail action going on there from a little self-clearancing from these 18s. Not a big deal, but I need to get everything stripped off of it, and that way we can work the paint on it again and reapply our ceramic coating, because we did that last year, and this color is, this thing, it absorbs so much sunlight, so we're starting to get a little bit of orange peel in it again. I don't know how well the camera's going to pick it up, but it's not doing a very good job, but I can definitely see it. So we're going to get this thing all cleaned up, ceramic coated, and get it looking good. I do want to get started on putting the gooseneck in the back and getting everything wired up for that. And like Leah, I want to add some lights to it. You know, the only thing that this thing has for backup lights, which these oval LEDs were badass when they first came out in the day, but I mean, they're dim, you know. I want to switch out the rear here to LEDs. You can actually see the crack in this tail light, and it's busted, so I haven't decided what I want to do as far as tail lights or headlights go yet. Like I said, these kind of get a little bit obnoxious with this body style, but I do need to put some rear-facing LED pods on here. I got to have some work lights on here because as of right now, this thing's a bitch to back up at night. Oh, and I'd like to tint the windows on Lola and Lana here as well. Her windows look a little bit dark, but that's just because she has a sunshade up right now. If you guys are still tagging along and you're still paying attention at this point in the video, one, kudos, and I appreciate it. Thank you very much. To the people that are new, just hang on tight. We're going over all of the shit boxes, all of them, and You know, some are worse than others, some are better than others, but don't let what you see deceive you. They run and drive and perform 10, 20 times better than they look. So thank you again if you're still here. If not, hey man, I get it. The kind of video like this would bore the shit out of me too. Moving forward to our OBS Duramax swap. This is an 01 LB7 chassis, extended cab long bed. That is an LBZ. Sitting in the frame rails there, we have our OBS. I'm currently in the process of putting the getting the radiator core support on, seeing what it's going to take to get that mounted up. I'm also in the process of getting all the suspension and steering back on the front. But you'll see in that video that I started at night and everything that I was doing required a hammer, so I had to wait until the next day. And getting it prepped for new mounts and all of that, which I am already working on the videos. I'm just trying to figure out how I want to platform them to make it easier. That way I'm not using a whiteboard because that's boring, but if I have to, I will. The difference between the NBS chassis, cab, bed, radiator core support versus the OBS core support, cab, and bed. I will be breaking those up into 3 different segments. That way we're just hyper focused on one piece of the puzzle rather than trying to cram all 3, numbers get run together, so on and so forth. But I think that's pretty much it on the OBS truck. Then we got our girl Betty here. She's been sitting for quite a while. It's been a minute since we've touched it. Really the only thing we got to do on this is get the fuel side of things taken care of. So just a fuel pump, and then I've got to go through it and go through all the electrical with a fine-tooth comb, which I've been waiting to do because I have some electrical work that I'm adding to Sally, our 6-speed Cummins here. We did the 4th gen bumper swap last year. I built the harness for doing the fog lights. So when we go to add that harness in and I go to do a couple things inside the interior to clean up some previous work, all of our electrical stuff is in this box here, so I'll be able to go back and forth between the 2nd gen and the 1st gen. Regarding our 2nd gen, we've got the big ass NV5600 there. We did find our leak. We got it taken care of. Our inspection, or our adapter plate, our flywheel, and our clutch, that's all back in there. Sorry for the lack of light. So the next thing, which we're actually be working on today, is getting that transmission back into place and then getting the truck back to functional, because I know my wife misses it, and honestly, I miss it. So, and then after that, we just got to do a pinion seal on the rear, get the transfer case in there, spread the frame, get the cross member there back in it, and she should be signed, sealed, delivered, and ready to go. And if you're new, yeah, the body on this thing is a little bit rough, but we have already had this engine out once, not because of catastrophic failure, just because the oil pan was leaking really, really bad. Typical Cummins, but we went through a few years back. We cleaned up the entire chassis, all the running gear on it. As you guys saw, the transmission looked absolutely amazing. Here's the transfer case there. I haven't touched any paint up on anything other than up front here where we had a wheel bearing go bad and it was spitting rust and crap everywhere, so I touched it up. But the body on this thing is ugly. We are going to be taking care of that, but I mean, up underneath, she's in really good shape. Like the floorboards there, the floorboards are actually in good shape. That's just a little bit of surface there, but it looks killer. So that's that. That's where we've been. That's what we've been up to. This is the future stuff coming up on these projects. We're just going to try to, I'm a one-man show here. You know, I've got my wonderful wife, who she works full-time. She's also a full-time student. I believe about 2 weeks to go on that. and so we'll get back to some normalcy there. But she works super early in the morning, gets out about noon. After that, I head to work, and I'm gone till about midnight, 11 o'clock midnight, somewhere in there. And my oldest son, he's in school full time. Our youngest, he's going to be starting school here in the next year, so it's a full-time job on top of trying to get this stuff in here and get some of the stuff taken care of on top of the housework. Again, I apologize for the ramble, the rant, the little to no action in this video, but I just, again, this helps me out because then I get to hear it out loud, and again, that's a good idea, that's a bad idea. But that's where we've been, that's what we've been up to. Those are some of the plans moving forward. I was gonna try to do some Thursday Thoughts videos, but my thought process, they were all just kind of bullshit thoughts, and you know, it just, I don't want to be that guy that just throws some shit together to make a video just to get it up. Kind of what I'm doing now, but again, it's, you know, there's context to it. That's the end of it. You guys know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And my other social media is down here. I don't have Facebook or anything like that, so it's just YouTube and Instagram. And I'm not even really good at that social media either. I am horrible on keeping up. So, but anyway, that's why we had great momentum and it stopped. You guys know what to do. As always, take care, God bless, be good to one another. We'll see you on the next one. See you guys.